Nick Lee rushed toward the flames and smoke, growing more concerned by the moment. He'd flown to Ghent to see a memory that had haunted him for a long time. The images of her as crisp and vivid as if from yesterday, not 9 years ago. They'd come within a week of marriage, but a life together had not been meant to be. Instead, she chose another path, one that had not and would never include him. His words at the time had stalled in his throat. Hers were definitive. I have no choice. Which seemed the story of his life. A volatile mixture of good and bad, pleasure and pain. Right place, wrong time? Definitely. Wrong place, right time? Damn right. More than he liked to admit, in fact. He'd started in the army as an MP, then tried for the Magellan billet at the Justice Department, but was not offered a position. Instead, the FBI hired him, where he stayed for 5 years. Now he worked for the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, more commonly known as UNESCO. Part of the UN since the beginning, its mission was to advance peace through education, science, culture, and communication. How? Mostly through initiatives like World Heritage Sites, a global digital library, international literacy days, and 1,000 other programs designed to promote, preserve, and sustain human culture. He was employed by a small appendage within that giant beast, the Cultural Liaison and Investigative Office, CLIO, a play off the Greek goddess Clio, the muse of history. Officially, he was a credentials-carrying official UN representative, which definitely opened doors. In reality, he was boots on the ground, trained eyes and ears, a field operative, sent where needed to deal with artistic and cultural issues that could not be resolved through conference calls, ceremony, or diplomacy. Sometimes you just have to kick a little ass, one of his bosses had said. He'd been there right after ISIL plundered Iraqi churches, museums, and libraries, on site in the Maldives when radicals dynamited Buddhist artifacts, in Timbuktu after the Battle of Gao when parts of that ancient city were ravaged by war. His job, first and foremost, was to stop any cultural destruction. But if that wasn't possible, then he'd deal with the aftermath. He'd come to learn that many so-called cultural purges were simply smokescreens for the hasty acquisition and subsequent sale of precious artifacts. Fanatics weren't entirely stupid. Their causes needed money. Rare objects could easily be converted to a stream of wealth that was virtually untraceable. No worries about bank accounts being seized or frozen by foreign governments. Just make a deal with reclusive buyers more than willing to supply gold, cryptocurrency, or cash in return for the seemingly unobtainable. Thankfully, this trip to Belgium did not concern anything threatened, except perhaps his heart. He'd been looking forward to seeing Kelsey again. She was here in Ghent doing what she did best, art restoration. It had been a mutual love of art that had first drawn them together. Then something wholly unexpected, at least from his point of view, pried them apart. He'd never seen it coming. Should he have? Hard to say. 9 years had passed since they last saw each other face to face. Their parting had not included any tearful farewells, hugs, handshakes, words of comfort or encouragement. Not even an argument or anger. Just an end. One that had left him stunned. Their communications since had been through social media. Not much. Electronic comments here and there. Just enough to stay in touch. She had her life and he had his, and never should the two mix. He'd many times wondered if maintaining any contact was a good idea, but he'd done nothing to curtail it. Was he a glutton for punishment? Or maybe he just wanted her in his life, however that might be.